Hello, and welcome to the Empowerography Podcast. This is a platform created for women's voices to be heard and a place to share their stories, journeys, and successes with the world for the purpose of helping other women who might be on similar journeys. We are empowering women one episode at a time. I'm your host, Brad Walsh, so kick back, grab one of your favorite beverages, and enjoy the stories. If you're looking for jewelry that makes an impact on your self-care routine and your style, Empowerography would love to offer you a discount code to one of our exclusive partners, Quartz and Canary Jewelry and Wellness Company. Please use code EMPOWER15 to receive 15% off upon checkout at www.quartzandcanary.com. Quartz and Canary is truly the place where spirituality meets style. Hello there, Brad Walsh here, your host of the Empowerography Podcast. Today, my guest is Christina Perrotto. She is an influencer and female empowerment advocate based in Vaughan, Ontario. How are you doing today, Christina?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. How's your day going so far?
It's beautiful, and I got outside to walk, so that makes it even better.
The weather is beautiful today.
Oh,
it's
nice.
Stunning. It's amazing. It makes such a difference when the sun is out.
I love it. I could have this all year round.
Yes, me too. Me too. I just want to say thank you very much for agreeing to be part of the community and be here and share a bit about your story and your journey here on the podcast with us today. I appreciate it.
Oh, I'm so honored to be on. Thank you for having me.
So let's jump in. Christina, you have a teaching degree. You're a blogger who is all about empowering women through your stories, a mom and a wife. How long have you been teaching?
Yeah, so I have actually been teaching since 2009.
Okay.
I have always wanted to be a teacher actually since a very young age. So now I'm at the point where I'm ready for a change, and the change has been gradually happening.
Okay. So what subject or subjects and grade or grades do you teach?
Yeah, good question. So I actually have a degree in psychology and theology, minor in history. So I've taught all subjects. Yeah, like I've taught the social sciences, the psychologies, the histories, the religions. And then recently, when I say recently, it's been the past 7 years, I've created a dance program within my school.
Oh, okay.
So
Very cool.
Students actually get to take dance as an elective for the arts.
Oh, and wow.
Yeah, I'm my full-time my full-time teaching job, is my dance area. So
very cool.
Yeah.
What's your favorite part about being a teacher?
So my favorite part, and I had to think about this for a while because I love it all, is really connecting and building relationships.
Yeah.
That is what has kept me there, especially in this hard time right now, is the relationships you build. I have relationships with my students that last way after they graduate. I actually went out for dinner with 2 former students not too long ago. So that is what actually keeps me hanging on.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So how has the transition been for you from teacher to blogging?
Yeah, so it's been challenging because I'm still teaching full time, and we talked like a little bit before, like how teaching is kind of my part-time job right now, although they're both full time. But it's been hard to we create content, and I'm writing and I'm planning, and so doing the teaching and then as a mom too, plus the content creating, it's been hard. It's been a lot of work. But the transition has been fairly smooth because I just keep in the back of my head that I'm still teaching when I'm doing my blog. I'm just teaching in a different way.
That's a good way to look at it, actually.
Yeah, I try to keep that in my mind. And, I really bring a lot from what I'm doing in as an influencer into the classroom. And my main goal is just to help where I can. So that has made the hard work kind of transition smoother. And eventually, I guess the long term is to kind of teach in a different way. So I want to shift from students to more females and moms.
Right.
Yeah.
So your blog is called the Naked Mama Blog. Can you tell us a bit about that and how long you've been blogging?
Yeah, so it's actually been a fairly short time. So yeah, I started the blog in the end of 2017.
Okay.
So it was when my son was born, and I was always fascinated about this online world, like blogging and influencers. And I thought, I want to be this. But we always have those roadblocks where we're like, I can't do it. Like, I'm just Christina. How am I supposed to do this? And
who's going to want to read my stuff?
Yeah, like I'm just some I'm just a teacher. I'm just a mom. And I really wanted to share my story. And we'll talk about this in a bit, but my struggles with postpartum depression is actually what got me launching this blog. And it's a blessing in disguise that I actually had to go through that. And where the Naked Mama blog comes from is because I wanted to bear my entire journey, like the good, the bad, the ugly. So bearing it all, that's where the Naked Mama came. It was like,
very clever.
Yeah, I'm literally like naked to the world, right? Yeah. My journey, and I don't hold anything back. So that's kind of where it all came about.
Purely raw and honest.
Yeah, exactly.
I love it. Now, I read that your personal story was what inspired you to start your career, your blogging. Mm-hmm. Can you tell us a bit more about your story and the inspiration for the blog?
Yeah. So when I was trying to conceive my son, my husband and I decided, we were on the fence for a while about, do we want a child? Do we not?
Yeah.
And we said, okay, let's go for it. It took us a while. It took us about a year and a half, and we had to go through some fertility treatments, nothing too invasive. It was like simply an ovulation. I was ovulating at the wrong time kind of deal.
Right.
So we went through all that. And then when I got pregnant, and I enjoyed my pregnancy, I actually loved being pregnant. When I had my son is when I started feeling that disconnect. I started feeling heightened anxiety. I always suffered with some anxiety, and I think some type of depression here and there throughout my life. But it was bad, to the point where I was having, I couldn't leave him. I was very controlling. I was having heightened anxiety over anyone watching him. But then I also felt a disconnect. That sometimes, I didn't feel like a loving mother, right, towards my son. I just didn't know. I was lost. And when I went to the doctor and we discussed, and she had said, I was suffering really bad with the transition. And she had said some females have it's a condition where like you're suffering from this transition of your lifestyle, which causes anxiety and depression. And then I was suffering with some postpartum. So they gave me the option to go on, medication. And I had said, what, I think I can do this on my own.
Yeah.
And what I started to do was, once I acknowledged what was going on and I started making some changes, like I stopped breastfeeding because that was a trigger for me.
Okay.
Just not having that freedom or not being able to like leave him and like kind of take a break. I made some changes, and then I started blogging and sharing my journey. And that is kind of how this all happened. So when I started sharing my journey about how motherhood actually wasn't so pretty, although I loved my son and I was happy, there was some not so good sides to it.
Right.
Other women started coming forward and saying, thank God, I thought I was the only one. Or like, thank you for sharing that, because everyone tries to paint this pretty picture.
Yeah.
And I was sharing the raw truths behind it and opening up about the mental illness that can be attached to a new mom.
Right.
And when I felt that connection, I said, I need to be doing this.
That's amazing. The power of giving people permission.
Yeah.
Through your story, right?
And people are ashamed to talk about it, but that's the stigma that I want to break. And this is where the empowerment part comes in too, right? Like, it's huge. Like going through pregnancy and childbirth, it's one of the craziest experiences I've ever been through. And you're changing as an individual. Like your whole life just got rocked.
Yep.
And then everyone expects us to take these like pretty, these pretty pictures with our eyebrows done, our hair's done, and everything's hunky dory. And I remember trying to be that at the beginning, and that's where I think I crashed. Mm-hmm. So I really wanted to just be that voice for everyone, actually.
Yeah, I mean, women, it's crazy the standards that women are held to and what's expected. And it's just, it boggles my mind. It's absolutely insane. This is a man saying this. It's like, it's stupid. It's unrealistic. I mean, think about this. Women are carrying a human being for 9 months. Like, what do you expect? It's an incredible thing. It's amazing. It's beautiful, but women cannot be perfect all the time. It's not possible.
Yeah. And like, even like, okay, your life changes, but then the hormonal
your body
that goes through in your body. Yeah. So all those things, and we don't get, not that we don't get enough credit, but it's like, it just gets overlooked, right?
Yes,
and
it does.
Everyone wants to jump to the next thing, right?
For sure. 100%.
That was really important for me. Yeah. And that's where the Naked Mama came from.
I love it.
Yeah.
How cathartic has it been for you to blog, and how much did it help you heal and deal with your own personal journey? Never mind helping the other people, but what did it do? I mean, that's great that you're helping the other people, not saying never mind, but how did it help you? It
was my therapy.
Yeah.
So I didn't need to go on medication. There's nothing wrong with that. I just needed to talk.
Yeah.
And that was one thing that I felt when your friends were coming over to visit or your family was coming over, you didn't want to say to them, like, I'm not feeling good or I don't need help, right? You always tried to put on a smile.
Yeah.
And for me to talk and to connect with others and hear that others were going through the same thing, that was everything. So that was the beginning of something great. And I always say, as much as I don't wish those feelings upon anyone, the anxiety, the postpartum, that very short time allowed me to create the Naked Mama, which then I've learned so much about myself and how strong I am. So I would not want to change that time.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Because all of this has helped shape who you are today. Yeah. And got you to the point you are today.
Yeah. So it was everything to me. That was my own therapy. The blog. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, I know you are a huge advocate for women's empowerment. Why is this cause in particular so important to you personally?
Okay, this is a big question, and I'm going to try to say it. I'm going to try and simplify it because there's so much complex here. So basically, when I think about this, losing our identity is the main aspect for me. So of course, empowerment's great, but I feel like with females in particular, especially when we become a mom, you lose yourself. And then these things don't get talked about, like who we were before we had our baby, who we were before we got married, what our lives look like. And everyone puts their careers aside. They think, well, I can't start a blog or I can't start this side business because I'm a mom now. I don't have time. Mm-hmm. Right. But I always say to people or my clients or whoever I'm working with, where do you see yourself in 5 to 10 years? What does true happiness look like? Right. And you need to work on yourself in order to get there. And then they're like, oh, wow, I never thought of that. Right. Because we take care of everyone else around us and we don't take care of ourselves. And if you can't, and you won't be able to take care of other people if you're not taking care of yourself.
That's right.
So identity and finding your identity again is really huge for me. And I always tell the ladies, I have never been so comfortable in my own skin than I am now, right? But this has been a journey and it's going to be a forever journey. So the empowerment for me, it's important that we find our identity. Even if you lost it, you can get it back.
Of course.
That's
absolutely.
what I advocate on. Yeah.
Amazing. I love that. With you being such a big advocate for empowerment of women and self-love, seemingly, in my opinion, in the media, self-love, women's empowerment, body positivity, these seem to have become almost like trendy words to use or buzzwords. How much of a hand do you think that the media has had in creating that narrative? And what are your thoughts? Do you agree that these words have kind of, for lack of a better term, lost their true meaning or true power a little bit with how the media has created this narrative for these words and these terms?
Yeah, I agree. So I love all these terms, but I do think that social media and the media has, just made it there's not much surface there. So it's self-love. I'm doing a face mask.
Yeah.
Well, anyone can go put a face mask on and pretend that they're happy.
Right.
And taking care of themselves. So, I do think that social media, they don't do what they should be doing with these words. And that's why I really want to shed light through what I do is that like, you need to go deeper. And I've done posts about this before, body positivity, right? Like, for example, you can't have like a extremely skinny person with not 1 ounce of body fat, hashtag body positivity, right? Because then what message are you sending out, right?
Yeah.
So that's great if your body looks like that, but like, we need to be careful of what we say, and we need to be inclusive and like always transparent. So I've done body image posts and I've done self-love posts, but I always say like, dig deeper. Like, it's not just about going to yoga or putting on a face mask. Like, how are you really loving yourself? What you do behind the scenes is a true reflection of your character. And are you doing that?
Yeah.
And that's what I always try to push. So of course I love seeing it, but I think, of course, like you said, people are doing it just because it's a thing to do.
Yeah.
That's what I try to always talk about in my posts, is like pushing past that surface level.
Yeah, I think it's needed. We have to, because you're right. Self-love is more than just external or exterior appearances.
Yeah. And
it's internal is what it is.
Yeah. And, you know, anyone can, like I said, jump in a bath with lavender oil or a face mask, and then, you know, they're extremely unhappy. But like, what are you doing deep to the core? What are you eating? How is your mindset? What are you doing for your relationships? That's the stuff.
Yeah.
What are you eating? That's big. Right?
Yeah.
Like everything. So that's what I really push.
Where do you see the Naked Mama going in the next 5 years? What's your vision for it?
Well, it's changed so much already. So this question like really got me thinking. So what started out as being just me sharing my journey, and my son was small, and now obviously my son's 3 years old, and, you know, we're just evolving as we go. And I don't necessarily know, but, you know, I kind of want the Naked Mama to be like, you know, a household name for like moms. And I want, you know, oh, did you see what the Naked Mama posted? I want to just be that go-to when someone's feeling, you know, they need some motivation or they need some realness in their life. And you see now, like, I'm doing a lot of work with like campaigns, and I'm doing some products. So it's just, I really just want to be that person who, if you need that positivity or you need some advice, you can come to me. And, you know, I get probably, you know, sometimes it's hard to keep up. I get like 50 DMs a day of people asking me questions. And my goal is to respond to everyone. So I don't ever want to lose sight of that and lose sight of like the people that backed me. So that's my goal, to stay connected and to be support for everyone whenever they need it.
Amazing. Now, I also read that you started or created She Incorporated. Can you tell us a bit about that company and its mission and purpose?
Yeah. So that actually, so speaking of the Naked Mama, when I was, you know, in the middle of, I think it was last year, I said, I need to do something more. Okay. So as much as I love my blog and the Naked Mama, I want to start connecting with women like face to face. So I created She, and She stands for self, happiness, and energy.
Love it.
And when I created the name, I thought about 3 things in my life that are important, and that's how She came to be. And basically the mission is to connect with women in a face-to-face manner. And I do talks with them, and just to kind of build that community. And the Naked Mama, you know, I share my journey as a mom, and She was more for, even if you're not a mom, more female based, where we can just come together and build that community and support each other.
Beautiful. Now, what's your vision for She Incorporated? Where do you see that going? What do you want to do with that? So I'm actually working on a few things right now.
Okay. COVID has kind of, I had an event last May, and then we had to obviously put that on hold, and it's still we're not sure what's happening. But with She so far, we've done a lot of events, workshops. I've done, you know, a yoga. I've collaborated with my friend Patty. She did a yoga. I do She Talks, and it's a lot of influential speaking, but also like wellness events. So in the future, I plan to have like a home base where I run workshops, my influential speaking events. I plan to kind of make it mobile, where I'll go into, you know, maybe schools or different studios and deliver the talks.
Okay.
So that's kind of my plan. I'm trying to, I do want a home base, and I don't know if it could possibly be out of my own home, or I'll purchase a place. I'm putting it out to the universe, and we'll see what happens.
It will happen. You put it out there, it'll happen.
Yeah. And I have an apparel line also.
Awesome.
Yeah. So that's been doing really well. That came fluke, actually. I made a sweater for myself and everyone wanted it. So I'm planning to launch my own shop too for that.
Amazing.
So these are all things that probably will tie together nicely in the spring.
For sure. Look at you go. I love it.
Yeah. And now with the Naked Mama and it's kind of like all coming together, because as my son gets older, I'm changing, and it's kind of like she and the Naked Mama is one now, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
So although I do have 2 separate Instagram accounts, and I'll keep them separate, I'm going to kind of try to amalgamate the Naked Mama all intertwined with she, because that's kind of where I've developed to over the past 2-3 years.
Awesome. I think that's amazing. Your drive is incredible, and I love the ideas and what you want to do with all this stuff. It's incredible.
Thank you.
What did you give up to get where you are today? What did you have to sacrifice?
Okay, so this is a question that I don't know if this answer is going to sound very strange, but I didn't really sacrifice anything. Like, I didn't feel like I sacrificed anything, because everything I'm doing, I love. But if I had to say something, is I sacrificed relationships.
Okay.
If that makes sense. Because,
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, of course it does, because you're putting everything into what you're doing. So yeah, I get it. It makes sense.
And along the way, I want to touch upon this, because when I started doing this, you have friends that you think are your friends, and, people go along with you. And then when people start seeing that you get comfortable and confident and really start to shine in your own skin, you lose people. And I always tell people this.
Yes.
When people see that you're confident, like, sometimes people don't understand because they're not comfortable. So for me, when I started this, I could see people changing in my life. And I was like, if I keep going down this path and growing, I'm going to lose them.
Yeah.
But that's okay. So I've sacrificed some friendships because, it's like people didn't want to grow with me or like be alongside of me for this journey. And that's okay, because then, I just think of it as like, there's more room for positive energy and people to support me in my life. So that's something that I feel like was a sacrifice. As funny as it sounds, but it's true.
No, not at all. I get it. That makes sense. Complete sense. What do you think your unique skill set or superpower is that's helped you become successful?
Okay. So all my life, everyone told me that, I just say it how it is. And I'm like an open book, and I wear my heart on my sleeve. And that was like a negative thing almost.
Yeah. I
feel like that has become my superpower. Okay. So being vulnerable and open, and like, I just share, like, I am who I am.
Yeah.
Whether I'm in the classroom, whether you meet me at the grocery store, whether we're talking now. So, I've always been told, you shouldn't do that. Keep things to yourself. Don't tell too much information. But I've never been like that. And I think that's really helped me be genuine and authentic and like build these relationships. And that's why I'm successful.
Okay. I love it. Mm-hmm. Can you share a situation that's occurred in your life that you feel provides insight as to your character, who Christina is?
Okay. So this is a hard one.
Good. I like to make you think.
Okay. So I'm going to go with something that's like more relevant. So, so I like to help people. I'm a people person. Mm-hmm. And there was an incident actually, a couple summers ago. I was in Montreal, and this is when I first started blogging. And I like sharing this because this could have literally made me or broke me type of thing. Okay. And this is why I want to share this.
Okay.
And I remember I only had 444 followers on Instagram. Mm-hmm. And I was just starting out in like my journey. And I was, walking the streets of Montreal, and we were with a group of friends, and I was sharing and I was videoing like I normally do. And, someone had said to me, and I'll never forget this moment, oh, who are you sharing for? Your 444 followers. And they started like laughing and making a joke of it. And I sat there and I was embarrassed in front of like all these other people. And I was like, Yeah, actually I am because, and this was my response. I said, if I could help one person out of that 444 follower count, then like at least I'm going to bed happy. And I know
That's
that
right.
I did my job, right?
Yep.
And that was with me the entire weekend. And I was like, you know what? I thought to myself, like, am I being stupid? Like, am I going to be successful in this? Am I going to get to like over 1,000 followers? I don't even know what I'm doing. And I said, no, you know what? Forget this person, forget that moment. And I made sure that I took more videos than ever that weekend.
Good for you.
And I made sure that person was in my videos, and I like, irritated them, right?
Yeah.
And you know what happened? That person ended up when now I'm almost at 9,000 followers, which to me, the followers isn't what actually matters. It's the relationships. Yeah. But as soon as I got, 1,000, 2,000, that person unfollowed me.
That's unbelievable.
We're no longer, acquaintances. I didn't really even care for this person, to be honest. But the fact that someone had to say that, and I said, no, my character is that now that you said that, I'm going to fight even harder and I'm going to prove you wrong.
That's it.
And I cannot wait for the day to see this person, because I wonder what they're going to have to say to me.
I love it. I think that's amazing.
So that's kind of something that's me in general. Like, if you tell me I can't do it, I'm going to do it.
More people need to be like that. We got to learn to tune out the excess noise, because it's all bullshit. There's always going to be haters and people that are jealous, and it's stupid. Why wouldn't you support your friends or whatever the case may be? Support these people. When they succeed, be happy for them. I think it's amazing when my friends succeed or do things amazing, or my family. Why wouldn't you be happy for them?
Exactly. And it's people's own insecurities.
Yes, for sure.
Handle it. And that's where, like, the true colors come out.
Yep, that's right. That's right.
So
what would you say is one of the best pieces of advice you've ever received?
Okay, so this one is simple, but it's from my mom. I have to give her a shout out here. I remember she's always said this, but then it didn't really hit home till like I was a new mom and I was like, up 5 times a night. And she always said to me, Christina, this too shall pass. And it never really, I never really took that advice for what it was, but I say this now to everyone. Like, when you think you can't, or like, you're in that moment where like, everything's just crumbling, it's going to pass.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, that kind of gives you that hope. And for me, that was like, that was the best piece of advice. Like, whenever I'm in a struggle or a hard time, I breathe and I think of what my mom said, this too shall pass. And it does. And you will overcome it.
For sure. How do you define success? What does that word mean to you?
Okay. Oh, so for me, success is not money. It's not, popularity. It's really happiness. And then when I answer this question, it's like, okay, well, what is happiness? For me, I'm happy when I know that I did everything possible in that day to be my best self. So that's success for me. So if I tried my best to do everything I possibly can for myself to be the best version of myself, that's success. That's
beautiful.
It. Yeah.
What's one of the most important things you've learned in your life, and what was your life like before learning it, and what was your life like after learning it?
Okay, good. I love this one. So going back to that example I gave you, the best lesson I've learned in my life is cutting out toxic people.
Yeah.
And I've been very open about this. I had to go to therapy. I took a leave from my teaching job 2 years ago.
Okay.
2 years ago because of, a toxic environment at work. But, I didn't realize that. And I thought, I just can't be here. This is this is draining. It's just draining my energy. And I took a leave and I did some soul searching. I did some therapy. And I really realize now that I was allowing negative people in my life a lot, and people in my life that like I couldn't be myself around, but I would allow it. And I would allow myself to be in a room with people that I felt uncomfortable around. I would allow toxic people to be around me. And I just don't have any space for that, and I'm
Yeah.
not allowing them to take that energy from me. My life is only for positivity and for people who add that to my life. Okay.
That's it.
So before, my life was draining, and I'm talking about like just 3 years ago, even maybe
Yeah.
2 years ago, draining because of other people. And I
Mhm.
cared too much about what they thought. And I say this when I do, when I did an influential talk with She, I always talk about this, and I say, if you had a water bottle sitting in front of you that was clear and it had a label on it that said toxic on it,
Mhm.
you wouldn't drink it.
That's right.
But yet we allow ourselves to be surrounded by toxic people all the time. So why are we allowing that? Why are we allowing our family members? Why are we allowing our friends? And even if it's your family, you don't have to disown them, but just, distance them from your life, just like you
Yep.
wouldn't drink that toxic water.
But I think that with a lot of people, because it's family, they think that, oh no, I can't do that. They're family. I can't do that to them. But
Yeah.
you have to. Toxic, no matter who they are, they have no right imposing toxicity on your life.
Yep. No. And I'll be very open and transparent here, because, that's what the naked mama does.
Yeah.
I have an older sister who has chosen a different life.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. She is into, she's into the drug scene and whatnot. Yeah. She's older, and she's my sister, and she's my family. And if she needed me, I would be there.
Right.
But I removed myself, and I don't have that relationship from her. And
Yeah.
if she asks me for something, like, it's okay to say no. It's okay to put those boundaries in, because
for sure,
there's no more room in my life for that. Right.
That's it.
And that goes with friends. And it's the most freeing friggin' thing that you can ever do, is to finally learn that. But it takes a lot of work.
It
takes
does.
a lot of work on yourself to get to that point.
Yep, for sure.
Yeah.
What makes you feel inspired or like your best self?
Okay, so honestly, this might sound like just very like cheesy or whatnot, but honestly, life. Like,
that's not cheesy at all.
Yeah, life inspires me. And when I try to think about, is there a specific thing that inspires me? I honestly love life. I love traveling. I love celebrating. I love, sipping on wine and doing things. Yep. I'm a busy person, only because I don't like to just sit around and waste time. I feel like, we're on this time for a very short period of time.
That's right.
And every day is truly a gift. So I want to live it. My mom's always like, you're going to burn out. You never take a break. But honestly, life inspires me. I want to be busy. I want to be living life.
Awesome. How would you like to be remembered?
Oh boy. This is a hard one. Another hard one.
Good. I love making you think. This is funny.
I don't even really know how to answer this. I want to be remembered as, just someone who is truly authentic, cares, and like that I would truly do anything for anyone in my life. That's how I want to be remembered. I just want to, I just really hold dear and close to my heart that I'm authentic and genuine. And I just want people to know me for that. And at the end of the day, I'd give you anything I have that you need that I could give you. Like, that's it.
Yeah. Awesome. What is one of your biggest failures, and what did you learn from it?
Going back, so I don't even know if this is a failure, but I had a relationship that ended when I was in university. And at the time, I thought that, this boyfriend of mine was, my person. We were going to get engaged. And at the time, for me, because he had broken up with me, that was a failure, right? For me. Like, what did I do wrong? Why did this end? And I blamed myself. Mm-hmm. And I blamed myself for a long time. Like, even like 5 years later, I was like, I don't even remember the year that this relationship ended. It was like 2006. But I held that with me, that I did something wrong and I was a failure because I ruined this relationship. And so, but that failure, in a sense, for me, it just allowed me to dig deeper into the person I was. And I realized from that experience that I was living to please other people.
Yeah.
And so as much as now I know that that's not a failure and, breakups happen, but that hit me hard. It hit my ego hard.
Yeah.
I wasn't doing what I'm telling everyone to do now, is like, love yourself first. And
you weren't living your truth.
No, I wasn't. And I was, when I look back at pictures of myself from back then, I'm like, I don't even know who that person was.
Yeah.
So for me, that was a failure in a sense. And I'm glad that I had to experience that because obviously now, like, I didn't marry that person, thankfully.
Yeah.
And I got to be my husband, and now I have this beautiful life. But it really taught me that, like, I need to live for myself and be me, be that authentic me, and not try to be for someone else.
That's it.
Yeah. And that for me was a big lesson.
What is one of your favorite quotes?
Okay. So my current favorite quote actually is this. You ready?
Yep, I'm ready.
I'm big on mindset. Okay. So
Yeah.
I always tell everyone this: if you think you can, you will. And if you think you can't, you won't. Period.
Very true.
And it's all about mindset, because it's just
for sure.
You need to manifest and believe you can, and you will.
Absolutely. What does the word empowerment mean to you?
So empowerment means, giving people that voice, allowing people to know that they can be themselves without being judged. And, just doing what you feel you want to do, essentially, like giving them that energy to say, like, you can do this. You want to be a stay-at-home mom, you be a stay-at-home mom. You want to start a blog, you start a blog. You want to create your own business, go out and do it. Just be you, and just inspire them just to do what they want to do. That's what it means to me.
How would you describe yourself in one word?
I would describe myself in one word. Let me think. Passionate.
Passionate. Okay. What is your personal motto?
Okay. So my personal motto, and we kind of touched upon this, is like, live life as if it's your last day. Like, live life to the fullest. That's what I really believe. And I've always believed that from, if I want a purse and I have the money to buy that purse, I'm not going to save my money. I'll buy the purse.
Right.
Because, I feel like, where we work so hard, and then, we only have these short years at the end where, like, people end up retiring and they have all their savings to actually live. Right.
Yeah.
Travel, live life. So, live life to your fullest, and like live every day as if it's his last.
I love it. Money or fame?
Okay. So I'm going to say, even though it's not all, I'm going to say money, and I'll tell you why. Money. If I have money, I can do things to help other people with it.
Absolutely.
Okay. So I can, I could buy my dream studio to hold my she events. I could donate. I could donate to the charities I want. I could help my family.
Yeah.
Fame, not so much for me. I don't really care for fame. That's why.
Okay.
I think fame brings more problems than anything.
Yeah. Well, money just allows you to do a lot more things to help people.
Yeah, I just want to help, right? That's truly what I
mean, fame, you can use that platform as well to help people, but not in the way, and not have the impact, I don't think, that you can with money.
No, and then let me tell you a funny story, okay? If we have time for this. So I was at Longos.
Yeah.
And I was in the lineup. I never expected this, but a lady came to the line, and I was, I'm there with, like, my mom bun. I joke, I have my hair in a bun, and Junior's with me, and she's like, "Oh my God, the naked mama." And I looked, and I was like so caught off guard. And I was like, "Oh my goodness." I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "Oh my God, Junior." And like, she knew everything about us, which I love because I share my journey. But I felt so like thrown off and kind of uncomfortable in that moment. Right. So it's like, would I want to be like, that famous person, like that Beyonce or whatever? I like to socialize and be around people too much. That for me, I don't think it would be good, but it was just funny. And I'm like, oh, that was really strange. Right? Anyways.
Early bird or night owl?
Definitely a night owl. I hate the mornings. I'm not a morning person. And I know I should love the mornings because like we get our best work done in the mornings, but I'm a night person. I need my coffee and like kind of to ease into the morning.
I get my best work done at night. I'm more creative at night for sure.
Yeah, no, mornings is no bueno for me over here.
What gives you the motivation to keep going?
So that's changed, I guess. It changes all the time. Right now, my motivation is my son and my husband. And, you know, I want to be able to be home with him. You know, my businesses that I have right now, the Naked Mama and She, they're kind of businesses where I can create my own hours and my own time. So, you know, I don't want to be going in to teach like, you know, 8:30 to 3:00. I want to be present. And so he's more my motivation. And it sounds, you know, not in a selfish way, but myself, like, you know, I want to be my best self. So again, because then if I'm my best self, I can be good for everyone around me.
Absolutely.
So
you cannot fill from an empty cup.
Yeah. And, you know, my husband's my motivation too, because, you know, he is a hard worker and we have a good balance together. And I want to make him proud. It's really my family at this point and my son. Yeah.
Would you rather be able to dance like Michael Jackson or sing like Freddie Mercury?
Okay, so I can already dance like Michael Jackson, I think.
All right.
So I would pick sing because I joke all the time. I love singing, but I have a horrible voice. So one thing I've always wanted to do is be able to sing.
All right. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
If you were writing your autobiography, what would the title be?
It would be called She.
Okay.
Yep. Because that word she did not come easy.
Yeah.
A lot of thought, like months into creating that.
Yeah.
So that would I would call it that.
Okay. If you could teach the world one thing, what would it be?
It would be the golden rule is to treat others how you want to be treated, because we are too judgy. And even on social media, like I see, you know, people who say like they're supporting each other, judging each other, and no one's truly kind anymore.
Yeah.
And, you know, once people on social media, for example, you know, get to a certain status or whatever, you forget where you came from. You forget your roots. You forget that you started somewhere too.
That's right.
So I just really believe in that golden rule to treat others how you want to be treated, because for me, that's everything.
If you had a theme song that played every time you walked in a room, what song would that be?
Oh my gosh. It would be, I have so many theme songs, to be honest. This is a good one. I don't know if I can narrow this down. It would be for sure by Enrique Iglesias, because I love him. I would say Bailando. Bailando is that song that's like my song and everyone knows it's my song. So that would be my theme song. As much as it might not correlate with me, but that's my jam right there.
All right. What is one of your favorite entrepreneurial books?
Okay, so I have two, if that's okay.
Okay, yeah, sure, of course.
I loved The Becoming book by Michelle Obama. That was a really good read. And like, you know, for someone who believes in female empowerment and journeys, that's good. And then I've recently actually started doing work with like Arbonne, which is a health and wellness company. And anyways, and I read a book, it's called Get Over Your Damn Self. So it's all about, you know, Arbonne is like a network marketing company, right? And it's about, you know, being kind of getting over the fear of like what others think of you, essentially. So you have to get over yourself before you're going to not care what other people think of you.
Yeah. And
I really loved that book because for me, the whole concept of like, you know, people and like not caring what people think about you is like really important. Like,
for sure. If you came with a warning label, what would yours say?
Okay, it would say, well, if you ask my mom this, she's going to have a lot of labels, but it would say was stubborn. I'm very stubborn. I'm a Scorpio, by the way, too.
Okay.
Stubborn. And, you know, I don't even know how, like, nothing's off the table. So, like, caution. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
That's it. Like, I'm just like, you're going to hear what I'm going to say.
Yeah. If you could go back and give your younger self one piece of advice, what would that piece of advice be?
The piece of advice, and I've done a lot of work on this, and we've talked about this a lot today, is to just be myself. Because when I was in therapy and when I'm working on myself all the time, I go back to like even my childhood, and I was living to please everyone, and I had to be this perfectionist. And I'm not blaming my parents or anyone around me, but it was ingrained in me kind of, I have 2 younger siblings too. So to be that lead or that perfectionist, and my entire life, I really just tried to make everyone else happy. So there was times where I would be invited to a wedding and 2 baby showers and a birthday all in one day. And there's Christina running around, not like running around to go to every function, even if it was for 20 minutes, because I needed to show up and make those people happy.
Yeah.
So for me, it would be, to kind of do me, and like, It's okay to say no. That would be the biggest takeaway. It's okay to say no and to live for myself and not for others constantly. And this change has only happened in my life the last couple of years. And it's honestly, oh my God, it's a good change. Because
it is that people need to be more aware of that fact that you have to show up for yourself.
Yeah, you do, because it's draining. It can be really draining.
If you were to deliver your last 30-second speech to the world, what would that last 30 seconds sound like?
So I would say, life is short and we need to be there for each other. We need to support each other. We need to stop judging. We need to get rid of all these labels. We need to stop thinking that we're better than other people. Mm-hmm. And we need to empower and just empower people to be themselves, to be the best versions of themselves, to love in a way that's, so deep that there's not even words for it. And just to be kind. And like I said before, treat others like you want to be treated, because at the end of the day, that's what matters.
For sure. Well, Christina, thank you so much for being here and sharing your story and your journey and some of your insights. And it's been an absolute pleasure chatting with you. And I appreciate you taking the time to be here and be part of the community and just share with us and be here. I think it's amazing the work that you're doing, and you should be very proud of what you're doing. So thank you for sharing with us.
Thank you for having me. And I look forward to hopefully working together again.
Absolutely.
Okay, perfect.
Once again, my name is Brad Walsh, host of your Empowerography podcast. Today, my guest has been Christina Perrotto. She is an influencer and a female empowerment advocate based in Vaughan, Ontario. Thanks so much again, Christina. I hope you have an amazing afternoon.
Thank you. You too. Bye.
Bye. Thank you very much for listening to this podcast. If you haven't yet, please be sure to subscribe, rate, review, and share with all your friends. You can find me at visuphoria.ca and follow me on Instagram at Empowerography Podcast and on Facebook at Empowerography. Please join me next time for another inspirational story from yet another amazing woman.